Okay, so in addition to the Ares project, where we're dealing with strictly Duner operations, anything pertaining to Duna or Ike will be under the Ares classification. In addition to that, we're going to be setting up the Hephaestus project. And the Hephaestus project is going to focus on Eve interactions. So anything to do with the planet Eve or its moon Gilly will fall under the Eve classification. So this is the Hephaestus 1. Hephaestus was the Greek god of smithing and fire, and he's akin to Vulcan in Roman mythology. No particular reason why he specifically was chosen for this. It was just the name that I pulled. But yeah, we need a new boost in science, so instead of trying to send something to Duna or Ike and come back, and also instead of sending something else to Minmus to try and get more science when we've kind of taken care of everything on Minmus, we're going to send something to Gilly, because we know that we can return something from Gilly without too much issue. Gilly is the smallest celestial body in the game, and it's fairly small. Like, I remember one time I had a lander there, which was fairly good size, probably about the same size as the top of this rocket here. I was lifting that off the surface of Gilly with several flea engines, or ant engines, whatever they're called. I keep forgetting. But they were basically, I was lifting something very, very heavy off the surface with very little amount of thrust, and that's simply because Gilly is very small. Gilly is very small. You can go on EVA on Gilly and reach escape velocity without too much work. So we're going to send something there, and we should be able to get it back without really any trouble whatsoever. And that will give us another huge boost in science. So I think I'm going to be docking this to the Nexus just to get a little refill on fuel. But I will see you all once we are closing in on Eve. Okay, well, after a very long trip, nearly 2 years just to get here, we are finally within the sphere of influence of Eve, and we're going to be starting to adjust our course and head towards Gilly here in not too long. But before we do that, let's see if we can just find Eve out here. Ah, there it is. That didn't take long. If I position my ship right here, it's right in between those upper two engines. Anyway, while we're out here, since we're in the sphere of influence, we can get some science done. So let's get a crew report, EVA, the usual. Don't really know what's going on there. That's weird. Can't do a seismometer yet. Can you do barometer? Yeah, we can. And a thermometer. And since Annie Kerman, I believe, is a scientist, she can reset goo canisters. So let's see, why is this behaving very strangely? Oh, what am I doing? Come on now. It's being weird. What is going on here? Come on. What are you doing? Why are you not? Give me that. Okay. Now why is the thermometer not working? Review data. Reset experiment. Go grab it. I'm sorry about this. This is really, really weird. I don't know why this is happening, but... No. Take the data out. I don't know. Not worth bothering with it right now. Anyway, I'm gonna get working on plotting a course for Gilly, and I will see you once we're closer to the ground. Okay, so I'm just time accelerating at the moment, and I do have an encounter with Gilly. The thing is, it's a head-on encounter. It's like, let's see. I should be able to see Gilly, but okay, so that's Eve over there. Oh, there's Gilly. Hello. And we should be within its sphere of influence in just a couple minutes here. I don't want to skip past it. Okay. Oh god. Okay, so I have to counter all of that relative motion before I leave the sphere of influence. I hope I have enough fuel. Let's get the RCS fuel involved as well. Actually, let's use only the RCS fuel. I'll speed this up so that it doesn't take an eternity, but yeah. I need to save as much fuel in this main engine as I can so that I can make sure I get home. And you see me here just using my RCS to get myself into a decent orbit around Gilly, but I do eventually decide to use my regular thruster because it would take entirely too long. Okay, we should see the orbit start to form right about there. It is. So now we're in orbit around Gilly. Woo! We did it. We don't have a lot of fuel left. Anyway, I'm just going to do some science stuff, and I will see you on the ground. Okay, and we are mere seconds away from... Well, I say seconds. Knowing the nature of Gilly and its gravity, it's probably going to be a couple more minutes at least. But we are very near to touching down on Gilly, and I'm just going to try and rely on this RCS fuel to stop me, because I want to save as much fuel as I possibly can. I feel like I could still make it home if I'm very lucky. But I would basically need to get a free return all the way from Eve, and with the orbit like this, I would want to boost like I can't even show you because I'm not recording my cursor for some reason, but there would really only be one way to do this. And I know what that is, but it's gonna take some work. Anyway, I'm actually gonna speed myself up a little bit so I can get towards Gilly faster, because it just takes so long with the gravity that Gilly has. Like let's do a little comparison here real quick. So Gilly, right? If I focus on Gilly, it'll tell me. Gravity at sea level 0.005. Now, bearing in mind that Kerbin's is 1, the standard. So Gilly has a gravity. What would that be? That would be 1/200th of Kerbin. Wow. And escape velocity is only 35 meters per second, so I can feasibly get off of Gilly with just RCS. Now, since we're gonna be cutting it pretty close to the fuel, I probably am gonna try and take off from Gilly with just the RCS, but I'm also only going to land in this one place, wherever I happen to land. I don't have the fuel to do the kind of things that I did on Minmus, where I took off and landed multiple times. At least for the moment, I don't have that capability. So RCS fuel is just going to bring me to a gentle stop. Wait a second. I'm basically hovering at this point. Okay, come on now. You can go a little faster than that. Don't worry, I won't be surprised. Okay, so we've now landed on Gilly. I'm going to turn the lights on so we can see in a very small area around us. And I'm going to throw it over to future me to do some post-production on this while I do the sciencey stuff. Okay, so this is just the same thing as always. This is just me doing a whole bunch of science now that we've finally encountered a new world. But yeah, I'm just going through here and getting a whole bunch of data. Now, it doesn't matter so much that we didn't get to go to more than one area of Gilly, because Gilly only has 3 areas to speak of. It has the fewest biomes, if I can speak. It has the fewest biomes of any moon or planet or area of any landable region in Kerbal Space Program. But yeah, you just see me taking a whole bunch of data here, and last but not least, planting a flag and folding up the ship and getting ready to go. Okay, we have left Gilly and we are on our way back to Kerbin, we hope. We are very quickly running out of fuel. I think we have maybe, just doing some math in my head, 20 seconds of fuel left. And I'm going to try and even out the ascending and descending nodes. And then after that, really the only thing I can do is kind of hope that I can get myself a free return somehow. I'm just gonna fast forward through this so that you can see the daring tale of how Annie Kerman made it back to Kerbin after a harrowing experience with fuel. Oh wait, is that really 330? What? Okay, that's a lot of delta V for a small change in angle. I hope it's not actually that much. It says it is, but I don't believe it is. It really shouldn't be. But so after running out of fuel, I decided that the only way I would be able to get home is if I abused a small bug where you can get essentially infinite RCS fuel in a Kerbal jetpack if you just put them in and take them out of a command pod. Even if they have 0.01 left in their pack, they will pop out with a full 5 units of fuel, which isn't much, but moves a Kerbal pretty fast, I guess. So I decided that that was the only way I was going to be able to do it, and I tried to do that, but at some point I realized this would take me literally 2.5 years. So I am going to deal with this in the next episode or in another episode. I'm not sure, but we need to get that science back somehow, some way, because there's a lot there, and we need that stuff. But yeah, I just was not willing to put in that much effort to try and get out and push a spaceship with a meager jetpack. Presumably in the right direction, might not have even been in the right direction, but point being, not even worth it. So we will see what happens in another episode. Alright, everybody, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to stay tuned this Friday for Civilization 5 Season 2 Part 2, and next Monday for a special League of Legends video that is a request from one of my subscribers. He requested a list of things, and I think we found a nice way to get that all worked out for him. But yeah, stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys on Friday.